Y'all remember the 2009 Jim Sheridan film Brothers? Don't know the name Jim Sheridan, the director? Well, the movie Brothers from 2009 with Tobey Maguire, Jake Gyllenhaal, Natalie Portman. Well, today I want to talk about the original Brothers from 2005. Well, 2004, whatever. But yeah, the Brothers from 2004. Well, I'm going to say 2005 because of its wider North American release. Yeah, Brothers from 2005 is actually a Danish film, and you know that old saying that the original is always going to be better than the remake? Well, that's true in case of Brothers, because while I did think that Brothers from 2009 was a pretty good film, like the acting in it was good, the themes were all well done and stuff. I just thought that the final act, it felt too rushed. And even though that is a pretty good it's almost a shot-for-shot remake of this Danish film, still, the way that the Danish film is somehow able to handle everything in a more soothing, smooth sort of way. Such a way where, like, the payoffs of everything feel better, feel much stronger, feel more earned than in the 2009 film. So anyone that's not familiar with the storyline of Brothers, there's this respected man in the army, and he has a wife, family. His younger brother is pretty immature and an ex-con. So when Big Brother gets sent away to Afghanistan, crazy things end up happening, and he's declared dead. So little brother must go over to Big Brother's family, and they must deal with life without the patriarch. They all miss him dearly, and being more present, like little brother being more present in his other families' lives, it's really helping make him a better person. He's really growing more. He's becoming more mature because, frankly, yes, the brothers, they do love each other, but now it's time for them to actually man up about it, actually respect everything. So enough time has passed, and eventually Big Brother winds up resurfacing, comes home with hardcore PTSD, and he wonders if his wife and brother had an affair with one another. You know, it actually is kind of a relevant question to ask, because they honestly did think that he was dead. There was lots of evidence with the plane crash, so yeah, who's going to think that he was alive, right? Well, eventually, some more wounds end up opening, some more heartbreak ends up happening, some more shock ends up happening, and the way that he reacts to some things, his PTSD really gets the better of him, and what he ultimately needs, he needs communication, he needs to be listened to, and he needs to tell everything that happened during his time away. Now, the way that PTSD is handled, this is like, okay, post-traumatic stress disorder in a war film, that's one of the oldest war cliches in the book. Although war is fun sorts of things, that's not as common as one might think. Most war things are about the psychological effects. You look at the Deer Hunter, you look at Apocalypse Now, you look at Platoon. Well, in Brothers, on the other hand, there isn't a whole lot of like battle scenes, but it's a different kind of thing that happens that really scars him for life. And because most of the film takes place just in regular Denmark with his family, it's about how war affects everyone, even those that are not actually present on the battleground. And because this movie is so hard-hitting, it is very Oscar-y. The acting in this is what really got to me. I did think that in 2009, when the Jim Sheridan Brothers movie came out, I thought that the acting in it was really good. Toby, Natalie, Jake, mighty fine. But in this one, from 2005, the acting is just unbelievable. In 2005, you had some really good performances, some really great ones actually. Like there was Philip Seymour Hoffman as Truman Capote. There was History of Violence, The Best of Youth, which was my favorite film of that year. Sarah Band, because Ingmar Bergman's Sarah Band also had a wide release in 2005. You get the idea. Well, The Best of Youth, everyone, including the two little daughters, man, their performances were just mind-blowing. So unbelievable. Wow. So yeah, even though the biggest script that I had with the 2009 film Brothers was, as I said, the ending felt a little too rushed. And in this one, it is practically the exact same beat, but it does feel in this one that there is more of a resolution as opposed to the 2009 version. Even though there isn't an entire resolution and not everything gets completely fixed, there isn't a really big happy ending to it. We really should have seen some more communication, some more listening. Even so, what happens in this film, they're just somehow able to come across as more fulfilling than in the remake a few years later. So even though that ending that it is enough of a gripe for me to be like, okay, that's one little gripe with this film. Still, the acting in this film, much too good to brush off. Everything else in this film, much too good to brush off. I'll give Brothers from 2004, later, bigger, wider release in 2005, 3.5 stars out of 4.